Okay. 6 o'clock. Being 6 o'clock, I'd like to call the board review call to order. If we'd all stand and pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all very much. If we could have a roll call
Maloney,
here.
Cronin,
Here.
Ermeling,
Here.
Hardinger.
He should be on,
He's supposed to be on Zoom.
Jasper, are you on?
I don't believe he's on yet.
Not yet, okay.
Pincinot,
Present.
Wyland, Sagami.
Thank you. Number 4, adjourn the board review to a later date. Do we need a motion then? Yes.
Pam.
Motion to adjourn by Ermeling,
Second.
second by Husheng. Any more on the discussion? Hearing none, all
We have
those.
to set a, we have to set an actual date on that.
Sure, what's the date?
I don't think we do.
No.
I don't think we do to a later date.
Okay, just wanna make sure.
Later date. So, my whole cadence is off, so.
Oh,
No
First, second.
discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so carried. Now, number 5, Board of Trustees meeting called to order. Roll call by clerk.
Maloney,
Here.
Cronin,
Here.
Ermeling.
Here.
Is Hardinger still not on?
Not.
Okay. Pincinot,
Present.
Wyland, Sagami.
Here.
Okay, number 7, presentation. If I could get the whole board to stand up and just crunch in here a little bit. We are gonna present the I voted sticker contest winner to Timmy O'Day. Want to come on up for some photos here? And we've got a plaque. What? How do you want to do this?
We have a certificate.
Yep.
And we also,
Yeah.
we
they're gonna come
made
up.
a button for
Yeah.
you, Timmy, to,
Are we supposed
of
Yeah,
your
come on,
sticker.
Come on in here. So we're gonna take a picture.
Why don't we have you come around so you can be,
Yeah, well, what, do you want us to go here instead? Or what do you want to do?
do you guys wanna come up front? That'd be
I would
great.
think
You
we'd
tell
be
me. Yeah,
okay.
why don't you,
Yeah.
sorry, just stay right there.
Come around.
Little out of control here right now.
You can just get,
This is awesome.
Thank you.
then here is a button of the sticker. And the button that we had made of the sticker, we had ones made for all the election inspectors. So all the election inspectors will get a button to wear. Okay, we have to
For a picture too. You hang on.
scooch in a little.
Somehow, is this, just tell me where you want our hands. On this side?
Nope, you're good. It's good.
Good. I normally like my belly covered, but
Yeah.
I'll keep my hand here. Mhm.
Okay, everybody look here.
Yeah.
Couple more. Thank you.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank
I
you.
put in-
Congratulations.
I put in 20. Good job. Very good job. That's probably the most exciting thing we've done here in a long time. So. I mean,
Do you want to say anything?
yeah.
Would
Did
you
you
like?
want to say anything?
No, you don't have to.
Yeah. So I put in about 20 different coloring things with different names and you beat me on all of them. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So winning the sticker contest was something I never expected to happen, but here I am, my awesome button. And I tried really hard on this sticker.
You did very, very well.
Did
Thank
you have
you.
fun?
Yeah, did you have fun? And it's our first ever. So you will always be known as the first winner ever. We've never done this before. So everybody's gonna have to measure up to you, or you're gonna have to do better than you did this time.
Yeah, you
Might
can
be
submit
hard.
again.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. Good job.
you.
Thank you very much. Excellent. I would like to end the meeting right here. That'd be a lot of fun if we could just end the meeting right here. Right?
Order, Mr. President.
Yeah, that's point of order.
Other items on the agenda.
Great job. Public comments.
You know, it's like.
All right, so I've got two requested comments here. Let's see, I've got a Thomas Folan. If you wanna come on up and make a comment to the board. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Spoland,
Okay.
4311 Schofield Ave,
Mhm.
number 66.
Okay. The floor is yours.
All right,
There's
so-
there's no questions or answers or nothing. You just get to speak for 5 minutes.
Okay, well, it's not gonna be that long.
Okay, thank you.
So I live over in Stillwater Landing and they started working on the roads. Then all of a sudden I heard that they ran out of money and they are no longer gonna do it. So they're just gonna leave it as dirt and gravel road for the little bit of section that they have done.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I've got.
Oh, okay.
Is
Yeah,
the contract,
go ahead.
is the contractor gone?
I am not exactly sure.
Did he pull all his equipment out?
Yes,
No equipment, nothing.
nothing.
Michael's right here. He's got his hand up. Yep. Go ahead.
That is part of our water main replacement through the Stillwater Landing Mobile Home Park, so they did go ahead and pulverize the existing asphalt. So then we'll still be replacing the water main and then they're responsible for repaving once we replace the water
Okay.
main.
So there might be a little misunderstanding here. So we've got to get something done first from Schofield Avenue.
Right,
We got to come in with the water main and then they come in behind us.
okay.
So I think that might be the misunderstanding, right? Okay.
Yeah, because the way they explained it is they were doing all of the roads and they had until, I believe, November to get it done.
I don't believe they're gonna do all of it. We wanted them to do the whole thing. We would be very happy if they did the whole thing.
Correct, yeah. The plan they submitted is for
About 3/4, right?
about a third of
About
the
a
roads.
Oh, okay, okay.
And then next
So, so that entrance road that you see is pulverized and then.
First road and then the other.
Yeah.
So when are we gonna be in there doing the main?
Say by about the middle of June.
Yeah, I thought it was after May. That's what I thought too. So I'm surprised they did that. Is that normal that they were supposed to do that now?
We had it as part of our bid and Keaton had,
Jumped in?
they had an opportunity, I think, with their contractor to do it, so.
Okay. Interesting. So it's kind of I guess it's kind of in motion here that's gonna continue yet. So,
Okay, so they're only doing,
and they might have pulled out the equipment to go to another job site because we're coming in now.
okay,
Yeah, you bet.
got more answers than I got from them.
Okay, all right.
Thank
No.
Yep, thank you.
Mr. President,
Yes.
it's not their cost either, that's the
Right.
village cost.
It was supposed to be our cost. Yep, yep. Okay, let's see, Grace? We have Grace here tonight? Yep. If you just want to speak, state your name and address for the record, please?
I'm Grace Laponic and I live at 6003 Jessica Street here in Weston.
Okay,
And the only reason I asked to speak was because I actually happened to sit on Facebook tonight, and that's why I'm here, is about trying to rename the Village Municipal Center. Now, I don't know what discussion is gonna be and where it originally came from, and I have a lot of respect for Jason Wyland, I really do. However, I think that would really be setting one heck of a precedent.
gotta be a little quiet in the back there, please. Excuse me? Excuse me?
It would be setting one heck of a precedent, because just from a financial perspective, I mean, we just built a $15 million building hall here that I really do truly appreciate and support it. I really do think we needed it, but not everybody feels that way. So now we would come in and we would have to change the signage, we'd have to change how the letterhead, we'd have to do all of that, and anybody else would say, hey, that's okay because the guy was worth it. Well, that is true, he was. However, I remember years ago, a guy named Jeffrey Sheets who worked for American County. And he just as well gave his life in defending and doing this job, which we were all very sad about. But I think people kind of forgot that Jeffrey Sheets kind of went by the wayside. And what I don't think we stop to think about is in our volatile future right now, that anything that happened several years ago with Jason Wyland could very potentially happen very soon again with any one of our officers or any one of our firefighters or any one of our other people. And then how are we gonna honor them? So we merged the police departments, I understand that. And maybe it isn't fitting to take the memorial from where the police department is on Mesker Street, move it there. But I would suggest that we probably move it here to the village hall take that memorial and move it here, and it is very visible for people who come here. But I would adamantly be against us renaming the village hall. I don't think that there is a precedent to do it. I would just think from the cost standpoint that it would be very excessive and we should have budgeted for it at that point. I think we have somebody, whoever brought this up, probably said on a whim, well, we can't just let that sit there. We can't just let that be and the memory die. And I agree with that, but I just don't think that the proposal is the right proposal on how to honor him or how to honor anybody in the future moving forward.
Right.
I mean, we didn't see that happen with Jeffrey Sheets. We don't see that in other areas. Like I said, I very respectfully say, yes, I understand. He's very important to the community. I get that. I just don't think this is the right way to do it. I think there are better options that would be more
Yeah,
cost effective and
yeah.
it would set precedent.
There was a request, you know, that we did put on that we will discuss tonight yet. And as far as the memorial is, Chief Hunt is in the process of, discussing with, Captain Wyland's widow. So they're deciding, you know, where they think it should go. We're thinking a park or something else. You know, so that's really in a little limbo right there. It's probably not gonna stay with the fire department. So.
Yeah, I guess I didn't think about the monument itself. Now that I think about it, the monument,
Yeah.
where I think about the interior.
Oh, I thought you meant that. I'm
Part,
sorry.
yeah, and then I had totally forgotten about that
Yeah.
monument, and so I agree with you on that,
Yeah.
I just don't think that renaming things just from a budget standpoint would fare well with the public, with the village people, simply because of the controversy that was created with the cost of this facility. Like I said, I was in total support of this
Right.
facility, I
Well,
just would
thank
not be in support of all the costs associated with renaming.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, any more public comments? Anybody online? Anybody else in the audience that'd like to speak about something? Anybody online? No hands raised. No? Okay. Moving on to minutes from previous meetings, number 8, approval of April 29th, 2024, special board of trustees meeting.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Cronin. Second by Wyland. Any more on the discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Great. Jasper, you're on now?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
All right, acknowledge reports and minutes from boards, committees, and commissions. What's your pleasure?
Move to acknowledge 16, 17, 18.
By Pincinot, by Ermeling. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Carried. Reports from departments, administrator.
I have two things to share. One is agenda item number 50. I put in my report that we've been getting a lot of requests about our cell tower leases and about leasing space on towers. The company that asked regarding number 50 actually withdrew the request earlier this week. So item number 50 tonight will be a moot point because they have determined to go another route.
Okay,
So they will no longer be requesting that space.
and is that for the single intention?
That was for a single intention.
Single intention, okay.
The other item I would just share is Clerk Freeman, I finished up the paperwork with County Land and Title. 5500 Schofield Avenue is officially sold.
Awesome, that's fantastic, great news,
How the signs were going today.
great news, yep, very, very good, awesome, excellent. Anything further for the administrator? Good job. Clerk,
The only thing that I want to mention to everybody is about quarter review. It will likely be in October, and with a reval year, we have the video here. I have 2 of them. Barb took one today. But it would be wonderful for everyone to, I know Jim had watched it, Trustee Pincinel watched it last year, but it would be great to have everybody take a look at it for this
Yeah.
year.
will Shane, okay, good.
Yeah. I'll give it to
Okay.
Jamie tonight too.
Yep, and then when they get returned, just let us know, so
I
that
will.
they can all take it again.
Yeah,
Okay,
because
good.
I've seen the tapes many times, but I always catch something,
Mhm.
so it's good to review.
When you watch this one, Barb, because it's the same one from last year, isn't it?
Mhm.
I watched it last year.
Yeah.
It's coffee and Red
Change your
Bull,
life.
it's coffee and Red Bull for sure.
All right, say it'll be a
Exciting.
positive change, but it will
It's
change your life.
exciting.
Mhm. Can you imagine actually producing it? All right, thank you. Any more for the clerk? No? 23 finance.
I
Jessica?
just want to remind everyone, if you have any recommendations for 2025 budget process or procedures, let me know. And researching, trying to, I always like to throw something new in there.
Good. Okay. Anything more for Jessica? 24 fire and EMS.
I have a report in the packet. We also have some other issues I shouldn't say issues, but a different topic we're gonna discuss a little bit later on in the meeting. So I guess I can go over everything at that point, but if anybody has any questions on this, just let me know.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions? No? 25 Parks and Rec. No Sean, but any questions or comments? I see some playground equipment disappearing and being delivered.
Yes, the equipment up at Yellow Banks is being installed. It's been concreted in, but it should be ready to go fairly soon.
I saw it sitting there and some kids were wanting to play on it, so I went and cut the tape. And they had a lot of fun on it, I'll tell you.
And
I left before they were done, but it was really neat, yeah. Yeah,
Sean
I
is
do
at
like
the
color.
pool. We're filling the pool today, so we're
Okay.
ready for June 1st.
Cool. All right, 26 planning development.
I have a report in the packet. I don't have anything additional to add to it, but if you have any questions,
Are you happy about your new addition?
I'm very happy about
Yeah,
it.
good, awesome, good. All right. And there's a retirement in Marathon County, I believe, next week,
Yes,
For
it's
Mr.
Friday,
Mack?
Next Friday, yeah.
next Friday. Yep, Dave Mack, 28 years. Transportate that's where Aaron is going, right?
Aaron already went, yeah,
Yeah, but that's where he's working in there?
under
Under,
that
right,
position. yeah.
okay, good. 27, Chief Hunt.
Nick's gonna give the report tonight.
Well, okay. Nick?
So,
Go ahead.
April was our final month as Everest Metro Police Department. These are our final stats as Everest Metro. Our report is also in the packet. We had 1,147 calls for service in the village of Weston. April was a busy month for us with transitioning, with Rothschild and Everest coming together. We moved in, I think, about mid-month. Transition was going well. We still have a few things with records management systems and getting all the squads marked up, badges, et cetera, but things have been going very well. Also really exciting, although it's more May news than April, but Officer Kumua started today. So we had a new hire. She has 9 years of experience with Everest Metro Police Department. She actually left the department in 2021. We are excited to have her back.
I was out doing some landscaping and I drove by and her husband was gasping for air, you know, it's not really, but I congratulated her for coming back. We're all very excited that she's returning, so she is too, very much so. I can't tell you, and I just gotta stop here. I mean, everybody's doing a great job. But I am still pinching myself over this merger. I mean, it's unbelievable. And I mean, everybody in this room, all different players all over the place have done a marvelous job. And I kind of can't believe it's done. You know, the court's done, everything. I know, you said the same thing. It's pretty wild, so good stuff. Very good job.
Couple additions, we have a day and a half for bids on cars yet. If someone's looking for a nice used car, they're on Wisconsin surplus.
Oh, okay, cool.
Come off, so.
Mhm.
And one of our cars is sitting at Skin, so the new design's coming out, so.
Oh, that looks nice, very nice.
So,
Are they still fast or is all the fast taken out of them?
oh, they look faster.
Oh, okay. No, I mean the old ones. If I bought a used one,
Oh, yeah, they're still
still
good.
quick. Okay, you didn't like put a governor in there or nothing?
They're all the unmarked cars, so.
All right. All right, thank you. 28, Public Works. Michael.
Yeah, so this is the National Public Works Week. Some of us were out at the farmer's market on Saturday, had some nice interactions with residents or kids climbing around on some of the trucks, so it's always a good opportunity to kind of talk to the residents about what that equipment does and the services we provide, but I guess.
Nice stuff out there. Was that a Bobcat with a Mora attachment in the front?
Yeah, so that's a
I looked for a
toolcat.
key in that one. I couldn't
Yeah.
find the keys. Oh, I thought you had it hidden somewhere, so.
So,
No, that's nice. You must have got some nice stuff. I heard some good stuff about that. And it's so visible right in that corner, so good stuff.
yeah, and then as mentioned in HR, our staff engineer will be starting at kind of the end of May, first day of June, so. Isaac will be jumping from private side at Clark Dietz, where he designed a lot of our projects there, to coming on board here and design the projects as the Village of Weston.
Good. That's good stuff. And number 29, Nate, technology.
I have a report in the packet if you have any questions.
Any questions, anybody? You have nothing, just a couple things to say, or how's your golf game?
Yeah, in there.
Is it? Okay, just getting there. All right. All right, thank you all. Let's see, we need a motion. Yes,
Motion to.
accept.
Accept, okay,
21 through 29.
pardon?
21 through 29.
Yeah, 21 through 29.
By Ermeling, second by Zagami. Any more on the discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Product transmittals, acknowledge April building permits and acknowledge April budget status, well, one at a time.
To acknowledge item 30 and 31.
There we go, by Zagami,
Second.
second by Cronin. Any more in the discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Consent agenda. You wanna take it all at once or all separate?
We pull 33.
Poll 33, okay, and then, oh, Keith Melwitz is not on tourism, it's just as, okay, got an agent for Holiday Inn.
Yep.
All right, so there's a request to, approve 34 through 41. Who's gonna make that motion?
I'll make the motion to approve items 34 through 41.
By Cronin,
Second.
second by Zagami. Any more in the discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Carried. 33, back to Pincinel.
Page 129. I'm gonna pull it up here, so I got. Under Weston Utilities, it shows a bill from 5500 Schofield Avenue of $980.49. What was that for?
That's probably the stormwater bill.
Even though there is no currently active water.
Well, no, it'd be outside, I mean, it'd be.
Well, I understand there's still a stormwater impact, but
Yeah.
if that. So if that customer, you know, it's us, right, has no current service, no active subscription with sewer and water. They are still sent then a bill from Weston Utilities
For stormwater.
for stormwater.
Yeah.
Okay, very well.
Still impervious improvements on the lot.
I totally get that. I just found it
Within the-
weird that.
Within the lot, right?
Correct.
Okay.
All impervious
Yep.
surface, correct.
Okay. Okay, question, that's good.
That answered my question,
All right.
thank you.
So 33, a motion to
Motion to approve.
by Ermeling,
Second.
second by Cronin. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Carried. Ordinances, 43, ordinance 24-005. An ordinance amending section 30.104 entitled Campaign Signs Removal. What's your pleasure? Or you wanna talk more about it?
Move to approve.
Move to approve by Zagami,
Second.
second by Ermeling. Now on the discussion. So previously, I think it was 2 days, 48 hours, and now it's going to 10 days, cause some,
It was changed in the zoning code,
Right.
but it just was not
Right.
changed in the
okay, good.
election
Okay.
portion.
We're getting ready for November. Yep, Jim?
And doing so, that's not, for the village attorney, that's not an infringement of First Amendment rights, correct?
The zoning code was changed with the attorney's help to make sure we were okay with all of
With it,
that
okay.
a number of years ago. A couple of years ago, I think Emily
Pretty
worked on
recent.
it.
I think it was like.
Emily worked on it right
Yeah.
before she
Oh,
left.
Emily did? Okay.
One time you had.
And Matt helped us with it
Mhm.
because of the
Okay.
Supreme Court case.
I remember that being discussed like at length
Yeah,
at
we
planning.
had, yeah, he was involved in it.
Okay. No more questions on 43. What's your pleasure, or is it, we were in discussion? Is it up on, did I have a motion second?
Yeah.
You
I
did.
do? Okay, any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Carried. We have one nay. Two nays? Were you a yes, Jasper, or was that just applause?
I'm a yes.
So 6-1 carried. 44, ordinance 24-007, an ordinance creating section 78.101 entitled Payment of Taxes, Claims, Forfeitures, Judgments, and Fees prior to issuance of a license or permit. What's your pleasure?
Move to approve ordinance 24-007 as presented.
By Pincinel,
I'll second it to get it on the
second by
floor.
Cronin. Now we're on the floor. Any more on discussion?
Yes. We seriously don't have this?
We have it in some portions of the code, but in order for us to be able to do it, it has to cover the entire, all permits, all fee, or it has to be all fees or taxes or permits. It has to cover everything. So
with
it's
that said,
only
my hat
in,
is off to you for finding both of these.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Well, I do believe some of the discussion or some of it that's gonna be coming up is gonna be because we merged the two police departments too. So we've got, right, I mean, so for ordinance enforcing for the police officers, we've got to bring our ordinances closer. Am I somewhat okay on that?
Indirectly related, and
Yeah.
those will be coming, there'll be other ones that'll be coming forward.
So very politely, no, I was wrong, or what?
Correct.
Yeah, okay, all right, well, whatever. I took a stab at it, so I'm trying to get a nod from the captain or the chief and I got nothing, so I just laid out there. All right, I'm good to go. Resolutions 45, resolution 2024 01.
We have to vote on
think-
44.
Well, we probably should then, all right? So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. A little bit of humor, just a little bit of humor. All right, now we're going to 45. So it was my birthday yesterday, so. Resolution 2024 Jeffrey Sheets got passed away on May 19th too. Resolution 2024 012, a resolution to approve the final plat of Green Tree Acres subdivision. And then A, two different motions, you're saying?
I think it can be done in two different motions.
Okay, so we'll leave A off. What's your pleasure?
I have a question before I make a motion.
Nope, gotta get on the floor.
Okay, I'll make a motion.
Just Robert's Rules of Order, I'm sorry.
No.
You're not reading it?
After we get on the thing.
So motion
Yes.
on the floor. So motion by Ermeling,
Can you restate the motion, please? Cause you just said there's two different parts.
resolution
Let's clarify.
2024 012, a resolution to approve the final plat of Green Tree Acres subdivision. We have a motion on the floor by Ermeling,
Second.
second by Zagami. Now on the questions. Cronin?
Forgive me, but I did not look at my email today. Did we get a full development agreement emailed to us?
We, on Friday we did.
Yes.
We had 3 additions on Friday, yeah.
I got it late
must have missed it.
Friday and
No,
then
that's fine.
added it at like 6 o'clock and then Jamie sent out.
Yep,
an
that's
email.
fine. That's exactly what we,
It was late on Friday.
yeah,
Okay,
that's fine.
I apologize.
Okay,
I'll have to check my email and double check, but
okay,
And it should be on the link on the computer too.
right.
Yeah.
Should
If
be
you
right
looked at
after
it
the.
at
there.
any time after Friday, I had uploaded a new packet with
Mhm.
both of the development agreements in there.
okay.
Yeah, when I looked at it Friday at
Yeah, I got it.
midnight, it wasn't there.
Yep,
You got an email on it.
It should have been there.
it was there.
I didn't get an email saying that it wasn't in the packet.
You didn't get an email on that, but when you got 17 emails from me, that would be the time frame that I was looking at this jazz.
She's on number 11.
It was
Yeah,
closer
she's
to
not
one.
quite done.
So even the packet that's here is incomplete, correct?
No, what's on your laptop should include that
Those
item.
3 additions, yes.
Jen, was it updated, the board packet online on the website?
I
'Cause I-
uploaded it Friday night.
I'll just be honest, I downloaded it on Sunday and looked because I've been busy. And it wasn't updated when I checked it on Sunday.
We have no exhibits.
I'm not trying to, I just want to make sure that,
I uploaded it. I know I did.
I'm not saying you didn't. I'm just saying even though, I mean, you can look at my screen if you'd like, but it shows exhibit A and it's blank, exhibit B and it's blank, and
Well,
exhibit C.
no, it's after it.
Page 18, let's pull it up here.
It's after the,
It's packet number 2, so I don't know if they loaded the right packet.
it's
or
the
not.
development agreement you're talking
Yeah, I
about.
got
It's on
packet 2
page
here.
170.
170 is
170?
I got packet 2 here.
Packet 2.pdf.
It should be after it.
What page?
170.
170.
Page 107. I'm looking at page like 186, 187, and that's where the
170.
exhibits are listed.
170.
Yeah, the development agreement starts at 170.
I understand that at the end of the development agreement, or throughout the development agreement, it references exhibits A, B, and C. Exhibits A, B, and C are not presented in the packet as I read it unless I'm missing it. That's,
Well,
Oh, I'm sorry.
it's above it, so I guess I apologize. I did not put the subdivision plat in
8:05.
again, because
8:05 PM it
Underneath
was
the
uploaded
same
on
development
Friday.
within the same RFC. They're both underneath there.
Yeah, and this estimated costs haven't been submitted yet by the
The
developer.
only thing we don't have is
Does your meeting packet, BOT packet say number 2?
It does.
On your computer right here? Okay.
And it says that on my computer at home too.
Okay.
So we're referencing the documents that aren't, okay,
Well, they're there. They're just in front of it. I didn't put
Yeah,
them in twice.
okay. No, understood. I get it now.
Okay. So it's blank, but if you take your little black bar in the bottom, which I have no idea what any of this stuff is called, and move it over to the right, the picture shows up on 170.
Subdivision plat is really fun.
On 170, so 170 comes up initially as nothing, but then you scroll down a bit, still in 169, 170.
No,
Am I
I get
wrong?
that, Mark. What I'm seeing is I'm looking for exhibits A, B, and C in the development agreement.
Okay.
And A, B, and C, I think were just put in a different order. They were put in the RFC instead of in the development agreement, maybe again, or reference that, see pages 1, 2, 3, and 4.
And the public improvements, we will base the letter of credit on that, and although we will sign the development agreement, it won't be recorded until we receive the letter of credit from the financial institution. So there's a check and balance on that.
So none of those have to be filled in until.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
So yep, go ahead, Jim.
Are we really requiring these plans to be submitted in paper and triplicate?
I generally waive that and just ask for the PDF.
Can we change that, the
We
agreement?
can strike that, yeah.
Thank you.
Does planning and zoning need them for any reason that?
I do everything digital.
Okay.
Will there be sidewalk on both sides of the new streets? I don't see that in any of the pictures submitted here, or if it is, I can't read it that way.
I didn't put it on the plat.
Yep, okay.
Dustin can answer that.
Go ahead.
Dustin, 6103, Dustin Breland, 6103 Don Street. The plans, yes, there's sidewalk on both sides, because that was the discussion.
Yep,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Will the village
Make a
engineer,
little noise when you wanna be,
All right.
All right, go ahead.
will the village engineer remain as Michael, or will it now be Isaac?
It'll be me for this project.
But moving forward, it would be Isaac, or it would be you,
Well, it'll just be named,
village engineer, and then whoever?
yeah, so then we'll specify the person.
You have to specify, or it could be an and/or?
We can do and/or. In the development agreement, we specify an individual. So Dustin's called out as the
Okay, got it.
designer. I'm called out as the village engineer, so.
Okay. Any more? One more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. A, discussion and or action on approval of developmental agreement for subdivision improvements in the plat of Green Tree Acres subdivision.
Motion to approve.
By Cronin,
Second.
second by Zagami. Any more in the discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Resolution 24-013, authorizing resolution, thank you. Resolution for East Jellic Avenue and Von Kennel Street reconstruction project.
Motion approved.
Motion approved by Zagami,
Second.
second by Wyland. Anything on the discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Unfinished business. 47 is kind of a placeholder. Update and possible action on American Rescue Plan ARPA funds. Do we have even a dollar left?
Yeah, we didn't buy all the equipment.
Oh, nothing yet? Oh, okay. Cronin.
I was just gonna say, if we already earmarked all those funds, does this even need to be on here anymore? Unless something changes.
We can remove it unless there would be a change that we would need to remove.
And you have to
I
go back.
can, like, any updates, I can, like, once the bills start coming in, we can bring it back and just to let you know where the balance is.
And we can just blow right past it too, just a head nod this way or this way and we're gone. So I'm moving on. 48, update on goals for 2023-2025 strategic plan.
Also just a placeholder.
Yep, placeholder, okay. Yes, Jim?
That's that we removed. I'd like to make a motion that we remove that
Okay.
from the monthly Board of Trustees
Mhm.
Agenda, as our new administrator and leadership has embraced the strategic goals.
So
and-
47 and 48 or just 48?
And the motion was for 48,
Correct.
but I would accept an amendment.
To 47 also? Okay. Who made the motion?
Well, he needs a second to his original motion.
Okay,
I'll second.
you'll second?
Yeah.
You'll second?
Okay, I will make a motion to amend your original motion and include item number 47.
I will second that.
This is so much fun. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Only in government. Mostly-
I have to vote on.
Now we're voting on the original.
Right.
Yep. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. So we are now at 49, discussion and or action on Village Board of Trustees compensation. So this was mine. I wanted to get this on here and I wasn't at one of the last meetings. And I don't think it was up on the 29th. But doing a little research, back, Barb, I don't know how long, Lauren was still on the board. We changed the compensation for the board, for the trustees and presidents' wages. After about a 23 or 24 year, I think when the village was created, a village from the town, we gave both positions a raise. I think it was 4,800 for the trustees for the whole year and $6,000 a year for the president, $1,200 difference. Thank you, Tom.
Yep.
And, so after a couple months of discussion, it's more of a service. But I actually pushed it to 84 and 72. So I left the gap still 1,200, but I raised it to $2,400. Yep, good night. I raised it $2,400. So if you look at the area and if you look at the trustees' wages, like Marathon County, for example, is in the 4,000s. We are quite high for the trustee side. The president, actually, the town of Weston is in the $10,000 or $11,000 range. The county board is 40, 50, some thousand, I know, but the board is so low, but then the county chairperson is so high. So I would have to say that our wages actually are pretty decent. Where I think there's a spot that, and I tried to find it today in here, I thought I had it here, but in this league of municipalities, and maybe with somewhere else, is that some communities are paying a stipend for committees or commissions. Now, it's not in the budget. We're paying $40 for committees right now to our committee members and $50 for our commission members. I have nothing in my head on what to do there, but I'm just bringing it up. If we change the wages of the trustees or the president, you have to go through an election. So if this year we make a change, if the majority says they want to make a change up or down, you still have to go through an election to get it. So you have to win your seat back to be able to get it. I'm not sure on the stipend. I'm not sure. I know there's gas and some different things that you can get paid for, but you know more?
Well, I did not think that you could have a salary and that is all in, your salary includes it all. You can get paid for mileage or like today, although I got a ride, I went to Marshfield Medical Center for their tour with the attorney.
Oh, okay.
And if I would have driven, I could have turned in my mileage. Going to a committee meeting, that is part of your
That's
salary.
part of your salary.
Now, I could be wrong on that.
I think you can offer a per diem.
A per diem, yeah.
Per meeting.
That's what I meant, a per diem.
You
Yeah.
could offer a per diem.
I think at one time it was brought up and for whatever reason at that time you couldn't.
So
But I just would also, on the election piece, it would only be for those that are on the ballot
Yes.
next year. So
Yes.
you would have a year gap.
you would
where-
stall if you're not up for election. Yes, yep. So we would have 3 getting an increase or decrease, and then the other 3 would have to wait a whole nother year for that election cycle. So I think what we have to, go ahead.
And how would we determine an amount for the per diem? I mean, what does that all consist of?
Would be up to the board, I would believe.
Because last month alone, there were 7 meetings besides the BOT meeting. I have the dates listed, and not only that, they're at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 3:30. So, we have to cut out of work early, and make those arrangements. So, I understand that this is a service that I was elected for and I should be here, but, those are things to take in consideration.
So, yeah. So we can definitely look at the per diem. It would be the majority of the board. on, voting an increase or not. And obviously, we have quite a few months here to discuss that. If it's, quite an amount, then we've gotta get it in the budget. If we're thinking about that, right. So that's kind of all I am able to say right now. I thought I had that per diem thing in here and I really didn't. I can't find it, so I gotta look at that.
We can confirm with the league if that's
Okay.
what the board would like to.
I would appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I think just for some clarification, just to look at. Okay? Enough said? Yeah.
I just, I feel like this is a taboo subject because it's like we're sitting here giving ourselves more money for doing something that we decided we wanted to do to begin with
Right.
anyways. That being said, to some point, I understand what trustee Wyland is saying, because I know for a fact, and all of us have seen it. It's not just the board meeting. Sometimes there's 2 board meetings, sometimes there's multiple commission meetings, there's an extra meetings that we go to outside of that to discuss different things, so. And on top of that, it's the phone calls and the emails that are almost nonstop all the time that are being answered, so. I would like to, I think we should put some serious thought into that, because I do agree with what you're saying. There's a serious level of time commitment that is required in order to do what we do. Whether or not that justifies more for us, I guess I don't know what that answer is. I'm fine either way, but I do think it's something that we should take a look at.
And I feel we did it for, all the employees for twice last year, so.
But, yeah, but
I
But they-
understand it's a little bit different, but
staff runs the show. Sometimes I get very nervous just with the election pool. And I've seen 7 up here or 5 up here, sometimes it just scares the hell out of me. I almost want to move, I understand sometimes why staff doesn't live in the village. I mean, right now they should all move back, but the next election cycle, my God, it could be quite crazy. So, okay, so why don't we just do a little research on that?
Yeah,
Bring it
because,
back.
well, of course, you know my view.
I know. I had several of the trustees said absolutely not, no way. And I said, well, then donate the rest. So it'd be a nice donation to give to somebody.
there should be a
Anyway.
market adjustment.
Yeah. Okay, rock and roll. Let's see, so discussion, 50, hey, we got a freebie here, we got a pass. Thank you. See you later.
You guys, have a good night.
New business, 51, discussion and or action on president's appointments to committees, commissions, or appointments. I thought I'd have one here tonight for finance, but we haven't got a call back. And honestly, I haven't done a lot of work on the clips on that group, that 5. So anybody that knows some people that want to jump in there, maybe we should get somebody from Old Castle Glass. The other night, I got several phone calls at 9:33 on a Thursday night, and it was loud. Yep.
Did you ever hear back from Shannon?
Yeah, no, not yet. Oh, and then I've got another one with Jeff Zolpriest here.
Yes.
Yes,
Yep.
I heard back and she's, the
I
item.
think she will. She wants to know more about it. I thought I sent that to here.
You did.
Okay.
So and
And did we ever give Mary a packet for tonight?
yes, Mary got a packet.
So
Yes.
Shannon's waiting for, what's it all about?
Yes,
Yeah.
and we just had the one clarifying question that's just a little bit later on the agenda about the stipend for that committee. We just wanted to clarify that question.
I think committees are all 40 and I think commissions are 50. If I'm not correct, then correct me.
Well,
Is that not true?
It just wasn't part of the motion since that's a new committee.
Yep,
It wasn't
but-
previously an ordinance, so we just wanted to clarify that $40 mark.
But the connection is committee. Yep, committees are 40, commissions are 50. Unless we want to change it. Since we might pay them, oh my God, quarterly, instead of make them wait for the end of the year.
We have it just a little bit later on the agenda.
Okay. All right, so here we go. Discussion actions, 50 is gone, 51, discussion appointments, okay. 52, discussion and or action on recommendation of Finance and Human Resources Committee on amendments to Deputy Clerk / Administrative Support Specialist job description.
Motion to approve.
By Ermeling, second by Zagami. Any more on the question? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
So carried. 53, discussion only, review of communication materials for the reevaluation process in fall of 2024.
I had just put into the packet a memo that kind of talked about the timeline and then the materials that would be mailed to residents. So the first week of August, we would mail what is a reevaluation brochure. This one was a sample that the assessor had done for the town of Mosinee. Ours would look very similar, but would reflect the village of Weston. Then the first week of September, individuals would get their notice of property reevaluation. It's a pretty standard letter. It's gonna state what the old evaluation was, what the new evaluation is, and would also include the information about open book, which was the yellow page. We will have open book then throughout September, probably just the first week of October. Then October 15th would be Board of Review from 2 to 7. We are required to meet 2 hours, whether or not we have any hearings. We anticipate we may have a hearing since it's a reevaluation year, but that meeting will be 2 hours regardless, because you have to convene for 2 hours. And then late October, we would be looking to finalize our statement of assessment with the state in order to get those assessed values on the books. So if there's any comments or input on any of this, this would be the time to provide that, whether it's here tonight in the meeting, or if you wanted to send a separate email, and we'll pass that along to the assessor.
Jim?
Colin was first.
Go ahead.
Cronin.
Okay, I just wanted to say thank you for putting this together. I felt like there was a lot of misinformation that came out of some of the stuff that I've seen with our neighbors to the north, and I think it's important that we get ahead of this and make sure that people have the right information at their fingertips.
I will share that
So-
compliment with trustee Pincinel.
Yep.
Yes, so to build on what Steve said, that I reached out to Jamie on this. It's not a Weston mandated thing, it's a state mandated thing, I believe, to go through and do this reassessment when your fair market is farther away, when the numbers are too far apart, right? And it makes sense. But what Steve said, our neighbors didn't do a very good job of sharing out with their residents. And I want to learn from their mistakes, not make the same mistakes they made.
Right.
So we need to get in front of this, and we're doing this now, which is good, not just send a letter and here you go, Joe, it costs more. But to that, maybe Jessica can help clarify some of that some. So will the actual property tax revenue of the village increase year over year, excluding net new construction or improved properties? So for instance, if my property value, so when we get this new assessment letter in the mail and my property value increased 25%, will my tax bill increase 25%, no matter what?
No, I gotta tell you, I have a neighbor from the north, works with me in our company. And I was gonna have to send him home, because he was that messed up. And I called Jessica, and within 5 or 10 minutes, I had him calm down. And, then he's screaming, why did they say it this way? Well, whatever. I'm sure they tried, they didn't do too well, and he was beside himself. He thought he was gonna go up a double, yeah.
I got some of those phone calls from Weston School with residents, exactly that.
Yes.
And talk the guy off the ledge. Now, I don't understand it completely, but I recall a conversation that I had with Jessica, and that was the gist of it. But I wanna make sure those meat and potatoes make it into this communication, in all of the communications, not just the yellow letter, but it better be on the face page, in the next door, in the Snapchat and all the other jazz.
I don't think we have a Snapchat account, that'd be hard.
Yeah, I don't think we're-
Whatever we do.
Yeah, that's only the last 15 seconds. But I mean, what we do with our tax bill sliced up that we've done for quite some time, you came up with it. It is perfect. And it really quells, the stuff. So we had a hand up in the audience? Yeah.
I'm just curious, where's our present valuation at percentage wise compared, because you're trying to get closer to 100%.
Yeah.
And I understand the whole concept, but
Yeah,
where are we at right now roughly?
We're in the middle of a reassessment, but we were under 80.
We're under 80.
Yeah.
So
I
the,
think when it came to the last time you did a reassessment, he had brought it up over 95%. I'm pretty sure.
110 actually,
110, yeah.
110,
110, okay.
because values changed or they dropped or whatever right after we did it.
Was reassessed actually,
full reassessment was 2007. He did another market adjustment, I think 2010 or something like that. But that was only a picking and choosing certain properties that
Yeah.
were not
Okay.
keeping up the value.
Okay.
The big thing we need to remember is a lot of times when we talk about the reassessment, it says everybody's going up, everybody's But this year Greg warned me already. He said commercial's not going up as much as residential. What does that mean? That means that your residential may be picking up a little bit more of the share of the taxes. So yeah, your taxes aren't gonna go up via the percentage of your assessment, but they are more than likely going to go up, not necessarily just the net new construction, but a little bit more because the commercial is gonna be paying a little bit less.
A little bit less, and residential a little bit more.
It's gonna be
And-
a hard thing to communicate to our residents, but hopefully we can get something together to communicate that.
Right,
You got a great way with words, Jessica. I got faith in
yeah,
that.
yeah, I do too. And hired in resident would be like farmland out by Shore and Comanche. So that's gonna be the highest, so. We've got someone over there with some land. Anyway, okay, well, you know, you're new, you know, gotta razz you a little bit, you know, what the heck. All right, so can we move on? And you're all saying, please
No,
move on.
now, did you say Board of Review was October 15th?
October 15th is what.
Okay, I didn't have it on my calendar yet.
I would just ask if any trustee would have input on this or they would want changes. If you could let me know by Friday, that would be greatly appreciated, because then we can start getting the printers cranked up.
We're gonna have a sticker contest or something for taxes or anything? No?
No.
Okay, just wondering.
We maybe should, but no.
Okay. All right, so guide me where we are. We are 54, pickleball. 54, discussion and or action on the addition of pickleball courts at Weston YMCA.
Mr. President, if I
Yeah.
can. I talked to the staff at the YMCA, Tyler, he's involved in this. He said they don't know what they want to do really. But what they have in mind is to study their whole complex and then decided what they have to do.
Do they have a vacancy where the horses were, right?
They are coming back. Somebody gonna bring the horses back.
Oh, I would definitely bring the horses back.
Now, the
yeah.
other thing is, if they put a pickleball court in there, there's two houses across the street on the south side.
Yep.
And one house on the east side, adjacent to the property. And these are problem.
Okay,
I wouldn't recommend. The
okay.
other thing is, if you're gonna put the money in there, the YMCA should have it open to the public.
Right,
Well, yeah,
Right.
you have to.
And I don't think that's gonna happen because it's always for the member.
yeah, if we put money in, you're exactly right.
So
Mhm.
I would like to suggest or ask to consider hiring a consultant to design the pickleball court for the Macular Park. If I bring it back for next meeting, I will put him on the agenda for next meeting.
Everything, yes, no?
I agree.
Jim?
So following Robert's Rules of Order, to get this on the motion on the floor to talk about it. I make a motion to deny the construction of Village of Weston pickleball courts on the YMCA property.
Okay, second by
I will second that.
Cronin. Any more on discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Now, in the same vein, you know, can we just have it on the next agenda?
It could be referred at the end of the meeting. for
Yeah,
next
okay,
agenda.
just have it referred over. Okay, perfect. Okay, good. Let's see, 55, discussion and or action on proposal to rename Village Municipal Center.
Motion to deny.
Well, okay, motion to deny by Ermeling,
Second.
second by Pincinel. Anything on the discussion? So this was brought up in a letter and I saw it and I questioned it right away. And you know, you can just, as someone very clearly spoke about it, I mean, there was also 3 other people that passed away. And you know, Jeffrey Sheets, yep, and then, God forbid, hopefully never, the future. I brought up, and that's why it's on here on the next one, is that, you know, maybe if this gets ahead of steam, do we rename a park? You know, so there is a park out on the east side that I don't think is in, you know, too heavily done, but anyway. So that would be a thought. Yep.
have a question.
Just 1 minute, okay. So on the municipal center, do we wanna, why don't we finish that one first? Unless you have a question on the municipal center.
I guess I was the one that wrote it
Oh, okay.
and I guess
So you're with North Star?
I am with.
Okay, yep.
And I think I put a letter out last night on Caliland
And this lady here is one of 3 people that opposed it. And right now it's 38-3.
Mhm.
So, I guess what I don't understand is it's a proposal
Mhm.
that, has everybody seen the letter? Does everybody understand?
I've seen your original letter.
Okay,
And I read it, and I honestly, Jason Weiland, phenomenal. But I have to tell you, and you can take this really wrong, but why would you not rename North Star, Cleaning and Restoration to Jason Weiland Cleaning and Restoration? If you feel that strong about it,
well, I guess.
then why not?
Can we get the address for that, please?
Well, I know, but this is the Weston Municipal Building. And
We lost our police department.
I'm sorry?
And Weston no longer has a police department. It's an empty police station, correct?
It hasn't had one. We were in a joint venture with Schofield and the town of Weston since 93. So that's our building. It's our building we get to do with what we want with it. And it's completely the Village of Weston, it always was. And we're gonna have better coverage. And we have a lot of strength with this southern area here. We are in discussions with Kara on the monument. And we'll go from there. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I just wanna say why I was no disrespect
Mhm.
for the loss of a life. But this is the Weston Municipal Center. This is a government building. I mean, you wouldn't rename the Capitol for crying out loud. I mean, this is our building. And my concern is, and you stated, actually, you sounded like the speech I was going to give. You don't like to think about it, but this climate we have now, there is any day another police officer could lose their life. And what do you do then? I mean, you add on to it or what, that, I think too, that, and you have it on the next item. I had even thought when I read that, I thought, gee, why couldn't we have a park, the Weston Community Memorial Park, and have an area for the headstone or the dedicated thing, but I just can't see naming a building that you're going to possibly have addition. And why do you add the people that lost their lives before?
And we have a monument now in Kennedy.
Right.
And also our Parks Department, I think, is going through the process. Since we're doing a lot of stuff with parks right now and putting a lot of money and hopefully a lot of smiles, is we're actually considering renaming parks. Like Green Heck with the ice arena, and now Green Heck / Turner for that huge community center. And so I know Parks is going through that right now as far as if we're gonna do it, if we're gonna think about it, whatever. So go ahead.
The last question I just
Yeah.
have, and as you go down the Park Avenue, literally, Jason has 2 daughters, so mock dealers didn't even last 20 years. How long is the lifespan of a name for a park? Because the next item on the agenda is to rename mock dealer, right?
But just for discussion only because we have, because we have the one right above it that you wrote the letter on.
Right.
So,
But
yeah.
I've never heard of a park being renamed, so that's why, and it's only 15 years old.
Oh, just like Monk Gardens. I mean, I was shocked on that. Maybe that's the same thing here too. But it's for discussion only. That's all it is. Go ahead.
Is there any way there could be like a referendum? Because I really think the populace, those people who were here that day, I think they would want the building named after him. Really do, especially all the police, all probation, all of the courthouse. He was so revered. I mean, hard to say.
It's a extremely hard subject to
It's
talk
not
about.
hard.
Yeah, yes, it is. It's extremely hard. It's extremely hard. Yes, it
It's
is.
38-3 right now, and you don't have that many people agree on anything.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, and I mean, don't know disrespect when I say this, but to that point, there were 3 other people who also lost their lives that same day. So I understand that he was an officer, but how is his life any more important than the other 3 people who were also shot for nothing?
Oh, I'm
I'm just asking.
not saying that they were, I mean.
Well, then how is this fair to those families? I feel like we're setting a very dangerous precedent.
That's how it's.
Yes, I agree.
I agree.
Public service is different than us.
Actually, you're wrong. He was not a public servant for the Village West. He was a public service for the EMPD. So Jason was serving under a joint municipal, the town of Weston, the Village of Weston, and the city of Schofield. So does the referendum go to all three municipalities to rename all their municipal buildings? Because technically, that's what it was. You know, the EMPD was Everest Metro Police Department. Right now, the new one is a Mountain Bay Metro Police Department, and it's included with Rothschild. So the entire southern group here is now together. So when you say just Weston, it's not true. It's the Village of Weston, the town of Weston, and the city of Schofield. That's who he was serving for. And I have the utmost respect. No, I hope you not take anything wrong or negative from this trustee board here at all. And if you do, put it all towards me,
No, I'm not. doing
okay?
it.
But that's really what we're talking about. We're talking about three different communities. And I felt your passion. I read that letter so many times. And that would be a tough one for me. And I know we have a neighborhood that has all four names on the streets, just west of here. And yeah, it
Mark,
was an extremely hard day, yeah.
I realize I'm a little bit out of turn here, but
No,
just
no.
somebody mentioned Detective or Officer Sheets, I should say earlier.
Yeah.
Just something to consider, and I'm sure Chief Hunt knows this, because the courthouse has a Sheets room that they frequently have meetings in, so that might be something to consider also. Obviously, we're not renaming an entire building, but just that's what the courthouse has had that for years. They have frequent meetings that I go to that are held in that room, so.
It's a very good suggestion.
That's a very good suggestion. Thank you. That's all?
To Steve and Barb's point, Daily Lives Matter as well. I don't think you'll find a larger supporter of law enforcement and military and fire here than me, but I don't know that renaming this building is the appropriate venue for that. I absolutely think that something should, and needs to and will be done with the memorial that's on Mesker Street right now.
Can I clarify something?
Yeah.
That memorial was dedicated by us. So whatever is done with that isn't going to be dealt with until we give your approval. It was
Right.
not bought by the village, nothing.
Right.
So I want everyone to be aware that that was something that the family did, that that I and his daughters did.
Yep. And you're having discussions right now,
Yes.
correct? Yep, okay, perfect.
A lot of
Yep.
discussions.
Thank you.
So to that, I like kind of what Barb had alluded to here, if, again, this goes back to parks, talks about number 56 on the agenda, but do we have a community memorial park or a community memorial area in a park?
Well, we have the memorial on
In Kennedy Park.
yeah, Kennedy Park, right?
But specifically call out rename that park, rename that area of the park, make a Google Maps attraction, not attraction, but specified location, right? You call it out in our actual village stuff, right, on the website of where our parks and our things are. That we actually designate a memorial area. Or memorials, if there are more than one location. And even if it resides outside of.
Okay, so what I'm feeling, the board is this was discussion only, and correct?
Motion
before. Oh, okay. To what?
Deny.
To deny, okay. Okay. Motion and second to deny. Any more in the discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried to deny, okay. Next one, thank you all for your comments. 56, discussion and or action on possible renaming of Mockler Park. I think we just probably want to just revert that back to parks. when I saw the letter, I was just trying to think where, but now with Chief Finke bringing that up with a room or you know, a conference room of some sort like that where it can be recognized more too. We have done nothing on purpose with this building. We've put nothing up on the walls, we've done nothing. And all we want to do is just settle in for a while and just kind of feel what should happen. Should we have the history wall? Should we have other municipalities up on it? I don't know, I know up in planning, there's a couple maps and stuff up, and I know some of the rooms, some of the offices are personalized a little bit. But really, we haven't done nothing other than welcome to Weston and the Christmas tree. You know, we really kind of left it bare, so, but go ahead, Jamie.
I didn't have anything.
Oh, I thought you hand up.
No, I
Oh,
think-
okay.
I did.
I'm sorry.
So I'd like to make a motion to refer the possibility of renaming Mock Miller Park to the Parks and Recreation Committee following the adoption of a policy that outlines how we are going to do this.
Second. Motion by Cronin, second by Pincinel. Any more in the discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. 57, discussion only, safer memo regarding future funding needs.
So there was obviously fairly lengthy memo in your packets. There's been some changes within the fire district here over the past several months. And along with those changes will come a significant increase in needs for funding starting in 2025. Because of that, and
Thank you for attending. Yep.
I guess I'm looking for either Jessica or Jamie to maybe jump in here a little bit, but we'll need to make some difficult decisions here probably sooner than later, whether we will have those extra funds and how those funds will be brought into the village and eventually into the fire district, or if we will not have those funds available and we need to make internal decisions on how we can work within the constraints that we have now. I usually start to prepare my budget in July. Our charter says that our budget has to be approved by October, so we really don't have a ton of time, especially if we're gonna make some changes here in how we're gonna do this. So Jamie asked that I put a memo together for the board to actually have some detail and some information of what we're gonna need to move forward.
There are 4 options presented in the memo. Option number 2 is a little twofold because it's increased the contract fees or service fees, which Safer is exploring now. The board did approve an increase to those. We don't need a motion on an option specifically tonight, but we just wanted to make sure that the board was aware and informed because very soon we would need that decision and we thought this would help outline it a little better.
Steve?
So to add on that, on the other, out of the 4 options, I mean, option 2 is it's basically in play already, correct? We've already done some of that.
We have done some of that. The options that are left with an option 2 for us to do would have an extremely minimal impact. So option 2, I mean, is in there that it can help offset things a little bit, but it's gonna be a very minor impact to the dollar amount that we need.
So to that point, as someone who has sat in these meetings now for 2 years, option number 1, adjustments in staffing, just based off our call volume and the numbers that we are seeing, I don't feel that is really even an option. I know it's on here as an option, but I think we would be doing a disservice to our citizens by cutting staffing at the fire department. So in my opinion, it only leaves options 3 or 4. And as someone who sits on that committee, and I know, and Mark does too, Mark's obviously the president of the Safer Board, but I would like to kind of go around the room here and get a feel for where everybody else is at with this, because we do have to make some pretty difficult decisions here.
By when?
By October.
Well,
It's gonna have to be made before then.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is maybe Jessica and Jamie a little bit, but I think they probably need to be done in the next 30 to 60 days at the
Well,
most.
there's some other things in play.
I don't think you should rush it.
And we should not rush this.
I understand that. The only thing, I mean, is if the village decides they need to go for a referendum, I don't know what the deadline is for that. I mean, obviously that would be on the
70
November
days.
ballot.
70 days, I believe, I have to, before the election.
Around August, we'd be in around the August timeframe.
We would have, I don't know if I can be in August, I think it is.
No, we would have to have filed in August or November.
They'll probably need to vote on it in July.
And for the fire fee,
I'm trying to think.
1, there'd be a big educational piece to that, but 2, we'd have to determine how it would be determined. And the Safer would have to start tracking finances different
Correct.
Because the fire fee can only be used towards
Fire
fire,
services.
not EMS.
in my opinion, and I know this is probably not gonna be super popular, but I think referendum would be the best way to go about this. And I understand that if we did that, or the fire department would obviously be doing some campaigning as far as that goes.
It's typically
correct?
the way it works, yeah.
When would we see just a timeline of when that would that begin? I think there's some other stuff ahead of this, but when would we see that happen?
You probably would make, there would have to be a resolution that's adopted by the board in order to go to referendum. There'd be some paperwork that would have to be filed. We'd probably start that next month, so we'd have to work with the attorney on getting the wording for the question.
July next month or June next month?
June next month, because the fire department would have to be putting together those materials, those educational materials, so that would start fairly quickly.
Okay, Barb?
Well,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Husheng had his
Husheng, go
hand
ahead.
up first.
If we're gonna go to referendum, I think this referendum should be designed so our people can understand. We have a bad experience in the past over referendum because some people didn't understand what they were voting for. So
I
it
agree.
is very important to spend as much possible time on it and make sure it is easy to understand.
Correct. I agree. Barb? Oh, sorry, she's next. Then-
Yeah, okay, if we do a referendum so we can tax more to pay for this, what is Remountain being?
Remote has enough money in their levy that they just need to increase their taxes. They don't need to do anything else.
Okay, because that was gonna be my next.
I made the same presentation to their finance committee last Wednesday, I believe it was.
This is kind of, because it would be just peanuts as far as whatever, I guess I remember what happened, but there is a thing that in most homeowners insurance, that if you have a fire that you can, there's usually like a $500. Why don't we do that?
Because the Safer Board denied it when it was brought up.
Remote did. We actually passed an ordinance to allow it.
Well, the Village of Weston passed an ordinance, but the Safer Board voted no for doing bills for fire calls. We currently do bill for vehicle crashes, which we've been doing for 2 years now. But again, that's one of those things with increased fees. Even if we did bill for structure fires, we're talking about $8,000 to $12,000 a year. It's a fairly, I mean, everything counts certainly, but it's a fairly small dollar amount.
But could you put it back to the Safer Board to reconsider?
We could try again. Yeah. Steve?
You mentioned you presented this to Remote, and I'm just kind of curious if you received any feedback on what their initial thoughts were.
Not much, no.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. Oh, Jim, I'm sorry.
A few things. One, is there any way the department itself can cut costs? Not by necessarily this, but can you outsource fire inspections? Can you outsource any of this other stuff that we currently do in-house? Is there a more efficient, more cost-efficient method to do anything that we currently do? Think a little bit differently than we do now. I'm not trying to take somebody's job away. But if we talked about here, a guy that gets paid $80,000 a year to change the light bulb, maybe not the best use of our resources, right?
So we could look at outsourcing fire inspections, like you mentioned, and I haven't done this for the record, but my guess is knowing a little bit about that business, it would probably cost us more than what we pay right now. I could look into it. I'm happy to do that. But I certainly don't think it's gonna cost less because we can't get it done with one person now. So if we hired a company to do it, they're gonna have to have like 1.5 people doing it. So it's probably gonna cost us more than we pay now. The only areas we can really cut costs are training. We could eliminate our training budget, which is about $15,000 a year. We could just stop sending people to training. Other than cutting staffing, there's probably between $15,000 and $25,000 I can cut out of the budget. Other than that, we run pretty tight with everything.
Okay, good. And then, this was discussed, I don't know, 4 years ago about discontinuing Safer, pulling out of Safer. It wasn't going to go to Safer. If we can't afford to be here, what does this look like? I know some rules of engagement changed here, right? What does that look like Good point.
We pull out a safer, we lose everything. Whoever pulls, whoever walks away from the table, everything goes to the other municipality,
All the assets.
everything. Yeah.
I think that would be a far worse financial situation for us.
I'm not saying that that's the
No,
right
but you
answer,
just
but
asked,
I'm
you just asked a question.
One of the options is to do nothing, right? So what happens if we do nothing or we do, right? I'm not saying it's a good option, but is it an option?
Okay.
Jessica, where would $400,000 come from?
Either a referendum or a fire fee.
Where'd the amount come from?
No.
Where would
we
it come
get
from?
that, right? Trying to say, hey,
Mm-hmm.
So even if
you
we get
pull
like-
all the dollar strings,
So
we're
to
still
raise
long
our
$400,000.
levy, we can, I mean, I think our normal levy increase is about 120. That's everything.
Thank you.
And if I may, to your point about finding different ways to cut things. I think Chief Finke does a fantastic job with the people that he has. I mean, when you look at the numbers, we are by far the most understaffed full-time department. Well, combination full-time and part-time department in this area. I mean, in the immediate area. They do a lot with the people that they have.
In the call volume.
And the call volume.
Yeah, just for reference on that, I mean, we usually compare ourselves to Marshfield. It's that we actually cover a little more population than they do, but our run volume is almost identical. They have 4 more guys on duty every day than we do, and they're asking for 2 more because they say what they have isn't enough. So, and it's, again, we're close to Stevens Point, close to Wisconsin Rapids. We run with staffing of 8. Those departments run between, Stevens Point has 14 and they're asking for 3 more guys per shift to take them to 17. And again, very similar call line, we do 8. And we have significantly less administrative staff than all those departments do as well. The other thing I want to add is that $400,000 number that I have in there, and I mentioned this there, is that is very bare bones. That means that our health insurance better stay pretty close to where it is right now. We're not increasing anything else other than covering the increased cost because of the contract. Everything else stays the same. So $400,000 is very, very minimal end.
Discussion, go ahead.
Where do, I guess, you're saying you need a decision from us and probably sometime in June.
Yeah, I would think, and again, Jamie and Jessica, unless you have something to add, I think we probably need to pick a direction in June, I would say, as to what the.
So can we
what the
have this
board
on
wants
the
to do.
agenda for the June meeting then, please?
Absolutely.
All right, moving forward, discussion only. 58, discussion and or action on providing meeting stipend payment for community life and public safety CLIPS committee. I think we established $40 per meeting.
You just would want a motion to that.
Yep, so are we looking for a motion
Don't move.
by Ermeling,
Second.
second by Wyland. Hearing no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Carried. 59, discussion and or action on playground concrete border proposals
Motion to approve the proposal for Reedy's Curve landscaping.
by Cronin,
Second.
by Wyland, second by Wyland. Any more in discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Carried. 60, discussion and or action on purchase of a sewer vac truck, combination sewer cleaner.
Move to approve.
Move to approve by Zagami,
Second.
second by by Hardinger. Any more on the discussion?
To clarify, this is the chassis and the sucker box, yeah?
No, the chassis was approved in,
So this is just the sucker.
correct,
The vacuum.
66.
The
466.
Yeah, it's a vacuum. There's
What
nowhere.
do you wanna call it?
Nowhere in there does it say that. It says it's a vac truck. It's a vac.
And what does a vacuum do? It sucks.
It's a vacuum. It vacuums up stuff. I don't suck up my carpet.
This says a lot,
Yeah.
It
a
does.
lot. You use it for cleaning the sewer line.
We use it for hydro excavating, I believe.
Also, they use it for excavation
Yeah.
in the process.
I've seen it, it's fantastic.
With no more discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so
Aye.
carried. 60. Discussion and or action on Weston Avenue Construction Services Contract Amendment for County Road X to Ryan Street.
Move to approve.
Move to approve by Zagami,
What's,
second by
Second.
Wyland. Now on the discussion.
Is this the one? No, I just lost it. I clicked on a different thing. where they're talking about the cul-de-sac?
No.
Which one is that? Can't remember.
That's later.
That's later.
That's later, okay.
Stay here, Barb, we'll.
Well, I had it down and then I
Stay tuned.
marked the wrong one.
Same bad time, same bad
No
channel.
more.
I have a question. So, Michael, is this something that we could ever do in-house on our own if you had more engineering staff?
Eventually, yeah.
How many people would you need in-house to do this?
We probably need at least one full-time, I guess kind of like an engineering tech. It wouldn't necessarily need to be a licensed engineer, but somebody who.
Someone to assist Isaac.
Correct, yeah.
Because I sit here and look at these numbers, the business person in me goes, wow, $517,000. We pay that off in one year.
Yeah,
If you're hiring someone.
I mean, this
Yeah.
project, I mean, this is a multi-year and it's multiple people on it. I mean, it's a fairly large project. It essentially covers 2 people for 2 summers, plus then some admin costs.
Well, ROI is still be 2 years.
But this isn't the only engineering contract.
It's not,
on
yes,
this.
and that's one of the
mean-
reasons why I asked for the staff engineers. Cause I mean, a lot of these positions bill out at, $130+ an hour. And when they're working 50, 60 hours a week, it does add up.
I think that's something we need to look at in depth.
Okay.
Just a comment. I'll look at this and compare his wages, the number of the hours the contractor working there. The contractor gonna work 2,865 hours, something like that. To finish the project, he had 4,000, that include 2 people. Plus the surveying and the 4,000 is 2 people, but still he has a surveying, administration, and building the as-built and everything else in there. So we review that and try to tie it as much as possible, let's put it that way.
Okay. So hearing no more discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carries. 62, discussion and or action on Weston Avenue CRX, County Road X to Ryan Street redesign.
This doesn't come out to the public work. We haven't seen this, but we did discuss this.
Yeah, so there's actually a redesign or a contract in place. As we're going through right-of-way negotiations and there are some changes in state law regarding paths or sidewalks late last fall. In the state of Wisconsin, you can no longer use condemnation powers for a sidewalk or so anything that would be used for non-vehicles alongside a roadway falls under that definition. And we have run into a few property owners who are adamant that no, they will not negotiate or sell us their property for any amount of money if it's going to be used for pedestrians, bicycles. So
we're moving it to the curb.
our really only option is to make the roadway a little wider to accommodate pedestrians, bicycles a little better on pavement. Kind of like we have on Ross Avenue. And so I guess, but just going through this whole process through our comprehensive plan, our Weston Ave corridor plan, it was always talked about and discussed, voted on that there'd be a multi-use path on this portion of the project. But I guess I don't really see an avenue of how we could do that today. So just want I guess the board to maybe have official action to say we will remove that.
Hearing no more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
No, we need a motion first.
Oh, how about a motion? You won't make it a motion?
I'm not,
Okay,
I can't.
okay. Motion by Pincinel.
Can I have my own motion or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, very well. I move to authorize staff to work with AECom to redesign the Weston Avenue County Road X to Ryan Street to remove the multi-use path from the north side of the road and add additional width to the shoulders. I also ask that a sidewalk is added, a pedestrian accommodation separated from the roadway by a curb. So it is not constructed how Ross Avenue is at this time.
I don't know if that's possible.
So.
There's a motion on
Well,
the floor.
it'd
We
be,
have a motion on the floor.
it's a motion started, but where's the second? So we have a second?
I'll second that. I just have a question though, when trustee Pincinel is asking that,
So
as
there's,
the purpose of that curb would be to separate the pedestrians from the traffic, is that correct?
Correct, and even if there's not a 5-foot boulevard between the curb and where the sidewalk starts. If I have a 6-inch concrete curb that I have to drive over before I run over a kid, I want that 6-inch curb to run over before I run over a kid.
so
Thank you. That was my clarification.
I'm just gonna quick say, I drive Roscommon all the time, so I get home. And I have, from the get-go, I have thought that that is an extremely dangerous experience. When 4 children are riding abreast on bikes, because they think they can. And with the amount of room we have there and access, there's no reason we can't move the whole road over to the north, because the population is all in the south. And then raise the area that they're gonna be on to a curb height level. And at least they're on a curb, you know, it's probably an 8-foot wide sidewalk, instead of having 4 lanes of traffic with 2 lanes, and by the way, there is no striping right now, none whatsoever. And we're just waiting for something to happen with no striping, but it's, I know it was a quick Band-Aid, but it's a Band-Aid for a lot of years already, and it's a mistake.
Chairman,
Yes.
is there enough right of way to do any of this?
I don't know. I don't believe there is.
Oh, what do you got, 66 feet there?
There is,
How many lanes of traffic are you gonna have, 2 or 4?
2.
2 lanes, you got plenty of room.
Well,
Well, 2, isn't there a turn lane too?
Well, in some spots, there's a turn lane.
They have right of way acquired for that.
The hard part is when you add curb, you have to then add in additional stormwater treatment, because now the curb is acting. All the debris from the roadway is going straight into the storm sewer system. So you have to increase your pond sizes, your ditches, whatever you're using to treat that stormwater. I can see what we can do, but if we need to buy an inch of right of way from a person and there's a sidewalk there,
We're gonna get sued.
we could be challenged.
So could you, like the road is to the east, could the south side be like that, and then the right side be different? I mean, it wouldn't have to be the same.
So my motion, to clarify, was for sidewalk on one side, not both sides.
I understand.
But you're still saying there's maybe not enough room.
I have another question.
Yep. Okay, go
I mean,
ahead.
just a 5-foot sidewalk, not a.
What is it right now, 8, 10 feet?
So it was designed with a 10-foot path, and in a lot of areas, we had about a 10 to 15-foot strip of land that we'd be looking at purchasing. And around intersections, it got more to about the 25 to 30-foot range. Just kind of due to making sure culverts and things like that can convey water underneath. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's a little more difficult than just.
I think you should consider your right of way, see what you can fit in there. Is it gonna work or not? The other thing is, I didn't see any budget for the project.
For the redesign?
Right.
Yeah, I told AECom not to give me a price at the moment, cause I didn't know what the direction would be, cause the direction of, let's just chop the path and make a ditch, that's a much different cost than, let's try to work a sidewalk in and make additional room for.
How much right of way do we have? 80 feet?
It's 66 feet.
66 feet.
66 feet was the existing right of way.
Is this contention, I mean, is it one property?
It's
Primary.
3,
All 3 properties?
and
I
it
mean,
covers
is it
probably a mile of the
Yep.
1.5 miles of frontage.
350 acres? In that range?
Yeah.
And we did discuss curb, we did have that conversation and that it wasn't well received.
Yep, yeah, I even said, so if we put a white line on the road and we make this 8 feet wide, you're okay with that? They're like, yep. I said, now if I put a curb here and we pave right behind the curb for 8 feet, you would not be okay with that. He's like, nope.
Yeah, but that's on our right of way.
Yes, but if you still have to buy any land for
Okay.
ditching or
Steve,
something on the
Steve
backside.
Minell has said 10 years ago or more that we should buy that. Whole thing. Just a thought. Go ahead, Barb and Steve, which I don't know which one is first.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm thinking of it as when you're plowing, how is that going to?
That, we don't even have to worry about that until October, Barb.
One
That's
higher, one low.
Well,
totally separate issue.
We'll clear.
When I read the packet, you had mentioned that there's a possibility that as this develops and this land sells to other landowners, that we could then look at moving the path out to where it initially was intended to be.
That would be my recommendation is we have the project designed with a path and kind of, I mean, it's not as, so it's got a 3-foot shoulder right now. Essentially, we'll add 1 foot to it and pave the 3 feet that's supposed to be gravel. And then, yeah, as property sells, we would then work with that developer and have a path installed as part of that, or work on, getting the right of way purchase as part of those land transactions. We do that currently with some of our the sidewalk requirements for land. I'm trying to think, like the Eastgate Apartments, they ended up putting sidewalk in on south side of Schofield Ave when they built their development. And that's why that sidewalk goes across that apartment complex, but then it stops off the street because it was put in as part of that development. So I guess that's kind of my thought is right now, and that was kind of the biggest comment is I don't feel I need to give up my land for people right now. Nobody's walking here and I can still use this fertile land for farming, for agriculture, to save the trees that we have. So I guess that would be the thought is we design it in a way where you can still put the path in 5 years, 10 years, whatever that may be, when it does get populated, when it does have development coming up and down the road.
And go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Can AECom give us some option?
Yeah, I have
They should give us a. Then we know what we're dealing with, this way we just guessing.
Is it north and south side of the road? Can swing the whole thing to the south.
So
You did it once.
yeah, the difference, I guess there is if we move everything south, I don't know if I can. In talking with Attorney Yeedy on it, if we would need to go back and purchase additional right of way from people on the south side of the road, I guess they would be able to say no, or try to figure out how that legal challenge would look if we move everything just so we can.
I think they have done this to force us to put the bicyclists on the road. That's the reason for this. So the only thing is we're dealing with is a sidewalk.
Yeah.
The bicyclists can go on the road, put them on the road, then you gotta deal for pedestrians, see what you wanna do.
Yeah, we would at least have a path for the first 1/8 of a mile off of X. Just so as you come up off the curve off of Weston Avenue, you would be able to be off pavement at that intersection.
We believe that it's a walkable area with all the businesses.
I think eventually it will be, yes.
What, is this the section, or is this the section that we're rebuilding this summer, or is this slated for next summer?
Both. So X to Von Kennel would be this summer. And there's one property owner there on the north side that is not agreeable to any right of way sale for a path. And then there's also the additional property owners on the east of Von Kennel out to Ryan Street, so.
Land is a big thing. It's a big deal.
So, I mean, to that point, well, I completely understand where you are coming from with that, but at the same time, I mean, our backs are kind of up against the wall here as far as timelines go. And I don't know that spending a bunch of money to redesign ponds and stormwater systems and all that is really gonna be in the best interest either. I would be of the opinion that we should wait, or we should do what is presented here and then try to build that path at a later time when that area develops. There is not a ton of foot traffic out there right now. So while I understand what you say, or what you're saying, I disagree that that would be the best course of action at this time.
I picture your two kiddos walking on Ross Ave and increase the speed by 20 miles per hour.
I understand.
And that's where you wanna put your kids?
Out on Weston Avenue? There's no kids out there.
Yeah, there's no path out there.
Ross Avenue has built over time, big time, big time. There was no sidewalk on Schofield Avenue when it was Bloody 29.
Major surprise.
When the highway didn't come through. It takes time to sometimes get all this through. I don't think Rothschild still is fixed. It's a horrible road. And there's no pedestrian, no spot, no nothing. It's horrible. And it's not, and yet we're telling the kiddos to go on there all the time. And families and strollers and 4 breast bikes, all the time. I'm just waiting for those no-handed kids to just wheel out in front of me.
I mean, I'm not saying it's a great option, but
I think sometimes you just stall. How long has this been? It's a horrible road. It's horrible. Okay.
Well, you're looking for a motion on this, or we already.
There's a motion in a second.
There is a motion in a second, yep. Any more discussion? And just repeat your motion one more time.
That's the clerk to repeat it.
Well, I won't, I can't say I can get it word for word, but he said, I move to authorize staff to work with AECom to redesign Weston Avenue from County Road X to Ryan Street to remove the multi-use path from the north side of the road and add additional width to the shoulders. And that sidewalk is added separated from the roadway by a curb. So it is not like, well, you added at the end that it's not like Ross Avenue.
And you mean elevated even, not an actual bare curves.
Separated.
Yeah.
So whether that's
All within
physical
66
6 inches higher, whether it's 6 inches lower,
Yep,
whether.
all within
Maybe
66.
that's the answer, is you make it 6 inches lower. I don't know.
all within 66 feet. Correct, right? Okay. All right, that's the motion it's a motion and seconded. Hearing no more discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So no and no, 2 no's?
I'm a no.
No?
I'm a no.
No?
You wanna do a roll call?
Sure, roll call.
Okay. Maloney,
Aye.
Cronin,
Nay.
Ermeling,
No.
Hardinger,
Yes.
That's a yes for the motion, Jasper?
Yes.
Pincinel,
Yes.
Wyland,
Yes.
Sagami,
Yes.
Okay, I have it 5-2. So passed.
Still, Mr. President.
Yep.
I'd like to see they give us a couple options, plus what he's talking about. I'd like to see engineer come with this.
On a napkin, not completely engineered, but like on a napkin or a piece of paper, right?
Yeah, like that
Yeah.
thing, I think it's in this packet where it shows like the 3 different roadway.
price.
Okay, we
Yeah,
have
there
a
you go.
napkin
It's like-
price. Okay,
Show us that thing.
so Cronin or Michael?
And to that point, I mean, if the engineer comes back and says this isn't possible, then we're
Then
gonna
that's
have
it.
to revisit this.
Back again.
Well, that's what I'm telling you, he give us a
Yeah.
couple options.
yeah, that's fine. I guess I just wanted to clarify that if we do say that's,
If it physically can't be done, that I think we would all entertain. a different idea.
Who's meeting with the residents?
well, I did, Jamie did, and then Catherine with MSA, who's the right-of-way agent hired for this project. And I mean, realistically, it was a fine conversation. It was just, we don't want to sell our land for this.
You met with the decision maker?
Mhm.
Alright, could it be lower? Could it be 6 inches lower? Would that take care of your stormwater?
No.
Well, so the hard part is you
have to elevate
there's
it.
certain sidewalk requirements where like you start getting to ADA grades, so like this ditch slope off of the roadway is steep, and you know, you can catch it and come back up. So right now, really what we're looking at is I should probably just pull it up, but say it's 15 feet of ditch on either side, so that's 30 feet right there. And then we've got 28 feet of pavement plus 3 feet of shoulder, so that's 6, 28, 34 plus 30. So I mean, we're like right at 66 feet right now. And then
You have to have the unpaved shoulder.
you don't have to, I mean.
It's there, right? If there's an emergency.
We gotta
Yeah.
shorten this up here.
So all I'm saying though is that's with no sidewalk, no nothing. So now you add 5 feet in there, it's gonna be tricky to try to say we're not buying an inch of right of way from both properties.
63, discussion and or action on Weston Avenue, Alderson Street to Bird Street, bid results.
Recommend awarding Weston Ave, Alderson Street to Birch Street construction contract, Haas and Sons, Inc. for a bid amount of $2.624158.60 million.
Motion by Pincinel, second by Cronin. Any more in the discussion?
Well, I didn't, no, I'm sure this is 63. Yeah.
Is this the one you were
That's
asking?
the one you were asking about, Barb.
Yeah.
To answer your question, I asked the green question a year ago.
I know,
We're not
but I
colored.
guess we're talking cul-de-sac here, right?
Roundabout.
Roundabout, I'm sorry, cul-de-sac, yeah, roundabout. You're kind of crazy, damn.
Are we coloring?
So the base bid is a red, like the DOT red, and then if we wanted to go green instead, was it about $20,000 is what it would add to the project.
Is Rothschild participating?
That would be a question to ask them. So again, we
I know,
don't,
but wait a minute. We talked about that a year ago and they were not.
they were not, no, their
Okay, so
initial,
we're gonna go ahead and color it, what, 3/4 or the whole thing?
no, so the red cost is the base bid, that's in there, so if we choose to,
What is it if no red? I mean, I thought we weren't coloring this. How did the color start again?
I started the color. It was 2.624158.60 with no, or with just red, with the standard issue color.
How much is it without the red?
241,658, the number I just said.
yes.
That's with red.
That's on the advice, that was as part of the design, so that there was a visual cue to the drivers that it's not just pavement to drive over.
We were saying to make it
That's
concrete,
an
all concrete.
estimate without the red is how much? How much to color? Just a ballpark number, just ballpark.
It might be a $5,000 difference.
$5,000 difference,
Yeah.
but we pay for all of it.
No, the roundabout is 3/4 Rothschild, 1/4 Weston.
And they're not gonna participate, so we would pay just for a quarter of red?
We're only paying if we change it to green.
What?
We're only paying for any additional costs if we want to make it green.
But it is red.
And
a
the
year ago,
Rothschilds,
We weren't gonna do red, but now we are.
We were.
Oh,
It was red a year.
We said we are not gonna pay for any color.
any color.
We vote on that specifically.
Absolutely we did.
And the comment was because nobody else gonna contribute to it, therefore we are not gonna do it.
that was, okay, my understanding was that was for the green color only.
That's correct.
Yes.
Yes, not the red.
Red was in the bid, red was in the.
Red is, I mean, if you go to the,
How does red get in the bid? How do we let these engineers
if
do
you go to
that?
the roundabouts out in Green Bay and Appleton, all of them have red
Well,
interiors.
They got the Green Bay Packers there too. We don't.
Yeah,
It's
so,
a DOT thing, if I'm not mistaken.
yes, and this has,
DOT thing
this has
on
local
Weston
road,
Avenue.
this has local road improvement program funding. We got $760,000 for this project. And so,
Between the two communities
for
or
the two communities.
done, but that's enough right there. No more in discussion, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so carried.
But that's with the red, not the
Yeah.
green.
Yes.
Well, I didn't
Yes,
pay
red,
19,000.
64, discussion and or action on Mallard Court neighborhood asphalt overlay bid results.
Move to award the Mallard Court neighborhood overlay project to American Asphalt based on their base bid of $114,328.
And staff recommends RC papers.
No, we had American Asphalt.
Really?
Mhm.
Not in my book, is it?
Oh, whoops, I didn't change that one. It's this one.
Well, what was happening when RC was recommended?
I reused this cover sheet from the other overlay project when RC was cheaper.
So not when, because RC is local.
Was there a second to the motion?
Nope, I jumped right in there. Looking for a second.
Second motion.
Second by Zagami. Any more in discussion?
Part of me, RC pavers is local, we're not looking at a huge difference here, it's just over $1,000.
We can't break state bidding law unless we disqualify American Asphalt.
I thought there was a
percentage.
percentage though,
I thought a percentage.
No.
I thought there was like a 3% that you could justify.
No, not for change orders and some of that stuff. You can, like, if you have alternates, but
You can turn those.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Let's see, 66? Nope, 65, discussion and or action on Ross Avenue and Sandy Lane roundabout concrete repair bid results. We're looking at about $92,000 to put it back to the same way it was. And if you look at that, there's another thing I hit, I actually hammered one of my front wheels on that fee going into the bridge, $1,200. I had to pay for my front wheel. Do we sure we want curbs there? I mean, they're just beat the crap. Don't we want mountables?
so we could we could make it mountable curb if that's the direction.
You know, and then there's that black telephone or that black pole there, that light pole that is right on the curb that gets hit at least every other year. And just so you know, there's 32 signs that tell you what to do on that roundabout, just so you know. There's 32 signs. I went around there about 5 times and counted them all. So anyway. Yeah, 32 signs. So anyway, here we go. So if, can we make that adjustment or?
Yeah, if you-
Why would we put it back so that it ends up the same way again? You know, I mean, the plows are tough. I mean, they're trying to get the best they can, and if you look at curbs or corners or, you know, where I put my leaves all the time, that's always dug out with the plows. They can't help it.
Yeah.
It's no fault of their, you know, they're not doing anything on purpose, that's for sure. But that just looks really rough. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Is this to replace all of the curbing? Or just the pieces that are broken and,
It's all the islands, the splitter islands and the circle.
so all of it's getting redone
Well, the
anyways?
circle is mountable. It's the outside.
Yeah, the circle's mountable, so if we wanna just do everything mountable, we should be able to.
Now,
do
the
that.
most important question, how do we get through there every single day 4 times? I'm not going
While
to
this is
Clucks.
going on?
I'm not going to Clucks.
No, so the curb will get cut out and then formed and poured, so the asphalt isn't gonna be disturbed.
But when they did the hospital, there's 2 lanes everywhere when they did all that. And by Quick Trip on the other side, this is only 1 lane.
Yep.
So this is gonna be interesting to see this happen.
It'll be a little tighter.
Drive over to the middle. Okay, done. Do we have a motion in a second?
Please watch for construction workers.
What? I'm gonna get tickets like crazy.
So do we have a, sorry, more?
No, I was just talking like
So
crazy.
I move to award, well, can we award a project if it has to come back with mountable curb on it?
Let me check the,
Is it really?
it should be about the same price.
It's gonna be same price?
I would think so.
Yeah, try them.
I mean, they should be using their curb machine. Sorry, my brain's fogging up this time. But so, I mean, it's just the shoe that changes. So instead of a standard curb shoe in the curb machine, they'll put a different form in there and spin around in that. So
So it'll be interesting.
I can ask them. I guess if they come back and say no,
To make sure he's gonna say yes and give it to you in writing. Yeah, I'm not gonna increase my cost.
Well, the fire trucks are gonna love this. They're gonna love mountable curb. And the guys on Friday night at 2 in the morning when they do their donuts around there.
So are you comfortable with the motion to approve?
I'm comfortable with the motion to
with the
approve, and
amendment?
if it needs to come back, I'll bring it back.
I move to award the Ross Ave and Sandy Lane Roundabout Concrete Repair Project to Ficus Construction based on their base bid of $92,065.75. And that a change order will be made to change the curb to mountable curbs.
Second by, motion by Cronin, second by Pincinel. Any more in the discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Thank you. So carried. 66, discussion and or action on Business Park North, East Phase asphalt paving bid results.
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Cronin, second by Ermeling. Any more in the discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
So carried. That's one, no discussion. 67, discussion and or action on Business Park North, East Phase Concrete Repair, bid results.
Move to approve.
Move to approve by Zagami,
Second.
that.
second by Cronin. Got stronger right here. Now on the discussion, Pincinel?
Yes. If Petracas is awarded both concrete repair bids, will they lower their total amount due to decreased mobilization costs? We're spending more money in their store. They don't have to send their guy out twice. He's already here pouring curb here. He's gonna go 14 streets down and pour curb there. It doesn't have to be by half, but you knock $10,000 off or $5,000 off because you're not coming here twice. They're not in town. Gotta get their guys and all their equipment here. We're spending more money in your store.
So unlike on flea market, it's a bundle.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a bundle. So
That being said, their bids were both substantially lower. Part of me wonders if they bid this with the intention that they would get.
Yeah, I mean, generally, if we don't call out that we would give you a discount.
Yeah, that would have had to been part of the bid.
should have been asked first.
Yes.
If for some reason we take your bid twice or three times, what kind of,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, we'll have to remember that next time.
But that's something to
good
think about in
question.
the future when we
Yeah.
bid.
It's already in here.
No, that would have been great. Yeah, good point.
Okay, so no more discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
68, discussion and or action on Weston Avenue Construction Services Contract Amendment for Alderson Street to Birch Street. What's your pleasure?
Move to approve.
Move to approve by Zagami. Second
I'll
by,
second.
by Hardinger. Anything on the discussion? Hearing none, all okay, Cronin?
Michael, can you just, because we already approved the construction funding, so.
So this one is so this would then be the construction oversight. To include the Village of Rothschild's projects on, and our project on Summit, Alderson, and Weston Avenue, so it's the way the project had to be bid with the funding mechanisms, it is in there are 4 different contracts that they need to administer and 4 different pay applications and keeping some of those quantities straight and which community is being billed for what. It is a little more tedious than I guess a general project would be.
Hearing no more discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. 69, discussion and or action on recommendation from Plan Commission of site plan approval for multi-tenant commercial development at 2302 Schofield Avenue, Lock Redevelopment, project number 202-40110-192-2808-181-0922.
Motion to approve the site plan and execution of the development agreement as submitted.
By Cronin, second by Wyland. Any more on discussion? Jim Pincinel.
Yes. Staff completed the site plan review on the entire site.
Yes.
The parking is within the min-max for all 3 uses.
Yes. Well, we don't have single, we don't have one of the uses, but yes.
The drive-through area that has to have room for 7 cars, correct?
That was 5.
But there's room for 5 if that's the number? Okay, good. And then this development agreement isn't complete either, or is that in a different order or some other way?
Well, it'll have more, it'll have the entire site plan. I just gave you the elevations because otherwise, I mean, we would attach everything that they gave us, which includes like their construction documents, all that kind of stuff, so it'll be a lot larger. And this gets recorded, so the memorandum actually gets recorded at American Code.
If I'm one of the 5, cars, do I know if I'm getting queued? What does that mean?
It'll queue further, you just have to have.
It means you're in line at the drive-through.
You could be queued all the way out to the.
Yeah, so we must have like 15 cars queued for Bricks Ice Cream.
Probably more than.
So all the way to the
That
sushi
was an
place.
issue back then.
Okay. And actually, we have a queue going each way.
Yeah.
Alright, just wondering.
Probably about right now too. Baseball games got out, so.
It happens at Taco John's too.
Hearing no more in discussion. All those in favor saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. A, Discussion and or action on approval of development agreement for multi-tenant commercial development at 2302 Schofield Avenue, Lockby Development. Part of my motion. What? Oh, was it?
Yes.
Oh,
You
okay,
really should take them as two though, two separate.
okay. Discussion and or action on approval of development agreement for multi-tenant commercial development at 2302 Schofield Avenue, Lockby Development. So there.
Motion to approve the development agreement.
Motion to approve by Cronin, second by Zagami. Any more in discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
So carried. We have 1 no and 6 yeas. I know most of you can't believe it, but we are done with this agenda. I know, we're gonna move into closed session. I know. What?
Suggesting this, if you wanted to handle the ends part, and then I can write that down, the attorney referral, staff referral.
Oh, sure. Okay, let's do
And then I
that.
can just jot that down.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
All right, reconvene in the open session, possible action. Okay, attorney referrals. None? Staff referrals.
Start over there.
Yep, Jim?
Yes. I ask that all public works, parks and other projects that have bidding of like services, similar to what we talked about tonight with, we've got a concrete guy coming to do curb here and also over here. In that request for services or whatever that bid is that you sent out, can you ask for whatever combination of services? Because we did get some of that also on the parks side when we decided to do all the parks together. That makes sense. We're trying to save money. We had $400,000 for the fire department. Jessica probably could use a little more latitude in that department.
Okay. Good.
That is all.
Jamie? Nothing? Cronin?
I had something, but I can't remember what it was. It's gonna bother me, but I'll email you.
Okay, good. Shane?
I just like to ask if you could design of the ball courts of the agenda for next meeting.
And that's, we are doing that, right?
We'll put it on the agenda for next time.
That's what you meant, right?
Yeah, yep.
Okay, and Barb? Nothing? And we did the, we talked Stippen, we talked.
President Maloney?
Yep.
I just wanna, Trustee Ermeline had talked about that we had went to Marshall Clinic today. You may need a meeting before our next meeting. We can be in contact with that. We just wanna follow up with all of the trustees about that tour today.
Okay.
So I know that we have the holiday week. I'm thinking Parks is likely gonna have to adjust slightly. So if everyone could maybe just hold on their calendars the night of the 3rd, and maybe Parks would move to the 3rd too, because Monday's the holiday. And then it could be back to back if we needed to have a conversation.
Okay, good. Okay, then nothing for me then. Attorney staff, remarks from trustees, remarks from the president, future items. And our next date is June 17th. Remarks, what? Remark? Okay, remarks.
Yes, I do have one.
Okay. Wow, that was a major
Shots
comment.
fired.
She, one word.
I got that right.
Yes, I do have remarks. And she goes, weird.
I didn't say so, all right.
No, she was just thinking. I have an ear too. Yeah.
Like tan to red.
Okay.
Okay. The Wisconsin public surplus auction site shows that $10,400 is the total revenue collected for the 4 play structures that were listed. Instead of incurring significant costs to remove and dispose of those items, this actually came back as a net gain. Wise man once said, if you're all thinking alike, then someone isn't thinking. I feel that General George S. Patton was onto something there. We all need to challenge ourselves to think outside the box and embrace unconventional solutions to the challenges we are currently facing with budget shortfalls and out of control costs for everything. I appreciate the support of staff and the board for attempting to try something different and not just pay the man to tear the old swing sets down. So. Thank you.
I opened my eyes. I thought I was listening to Nate Feeney. But anyway, go ahead. Just parts.
Tony, if I were good at reading and
Just
public
parts.
speaking,
You did
I would
very
write
good.
it down.
You did very good.
But I don't have cue
No.
cards,
No,
I don't
no,
do that.
Just not
If I
bad.
gotta write a little bit,
Not bad.
it's okay.
I'm good. Anything for you? Remarks?
No, I think it's great that you.
And I agree. I totally agree.
Salvage.
That it's
We
the
were able to
quotes
get
of
paid
General
for-
Patton and stuff.
Pay for that, but our
manpower towards
And that's, okay. Gordon?
Is there a possibility at the next meeting that we can get an update on
On the what?
Type two,
Pike.
real estate transaction.
I agree. Good question. Okay.
the Pike? Can you also get an update on the legal status of the former utility clerk?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Shane?
No.
Barb?
No.
If we could have a closed session on the next meeting, regarding, possible, mergers. Just an update. I don't wanna blindside the board.
Yep.
Like I felt, I mean, Jim and I knew what was going on, but the rest of the board kind of didn't. And, I wanna be a little bit more front, right? Okay. So if we could do that, that'd be great. And now we're going to move into closed session. Motion to move to closed session pursuant to Wisconsin stat 19.85, parent 1, parent C, to consider employment, promotion, compensation, or performance. Before everybody leaves here, I just want to publicly apologize to Jim Pincinel, because that was unfair, and sometimes my attempt at humor is not that good. Okay. No, it's not okay. It's not. Or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility to wit, administrator's 6-month evaluation. Roll call vote?
Maloney?
Yes.
We'll need a motion to go into closed session.
Okay,
Oh,
good.
I'm sorry, yeah. you-
Motion to go
Motion by
into closed
Conan, second by Pincinel. Roll call vote?
Maloney?
Yes.
Cronin?
Yes.
Ermeling?
Yes.
Hardinger?
Yes.
Pincinel?
Yes.
Wyland?
Well,
Zagami?
Yes.
well, it's really up to us. Is it up to us that Jasper can be in, or is it just a flat out no?
He can make the motion, but he can't stay.
Oh, okay, yeah, you have to, we're gonna cut you out, Jasper. But thank
I
you for making.
understand.
Okay, have a good night.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Yep.
See you, Jasper. The 3rd.